I mean, if
Right.
the bride and groom are just big, Morrissey and the Smiths fans, you may not get a lot of dancing at your event.
I would do the Daniel Merriweather remix of "Stop Me If You've Heard This One Before." They would jump up.
It's yeah, but I mean, most of the time, if you're dealing with normal people, yeah, people tend to come out and bridesmaids will definitely come out and dance when she's out there, or anyone who just wants a little bit of her attention
Right.
that night will come out and dance with her. So if you keep her happy and you can keep her on the dance floor, or even him, it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
It will help encourage others to come out.
And that's in my last 2 weddings, the grooms have danced an inordinate amount of time versus like I'm looking off to the right at the barn or the left, and there's the bride, and I look out and there's the groom. And my wedding Saturday, the groom is a police officer, and so were like 3/4 of the guests.
Mm-hmm.
And the bride works for the LA coroner's office as an investigator, so the other quarter were her people. And I look out and I'm like, I have more guys than girls on the dance floor. Like, and it didn't really matter what I threw at them because they wanted Lizzo. So I threw Lizzo and the guys didn't move. I'm like, wow, this is great. But you're right. Like, that's nobody's. I mean, you've gone to weddings, Brian. Have you ever in your life gone to a wedding and thought, oh man, I can't wait for tonight? Why? What's going on, Brian? I'm going to a wedding. I can't wait to dance. I don't really think anyone's ever thought that. I've never thought it. I don't think
when I was a kid.
So it becomes icing on the cake of, yeah, I got to go to this wedding. It's my friend, a coworker, blah, blah, blah. And
I think there are folks who like to go to weddings and dance, though.
Well, yeah, but they danced and had fun. But it's not because we made them. It's because it all just seemed to work out. And I think that's how the endings need to go a little bit. Like, you kind of want to put a bow on that, at least for me. I want to put a bow on that package and be like, here you go. You started here. I was playing, Vitamin Strings, and then we had a ceremony and a cocktail and a dinner and then dancing. And then I ended with a couple close together, holding each other, dancing, and you made a circle or did whatever. But you understood the point of your attendance was
right. Yeah. Wasn't about your meal and your thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not about me. I'm important in the schematics, but I'm not there for me. I'm there for the client, and I'm there to give them what I know as a professional to make them get through this with the most ease and the best party.
Yeah, you're back in support for the client, essentially.
Yeah, no, you are. So, no, believe it. This will sound as a shock, but you can ask people that have attended weddings. Like, I'm literally, like, I'm just playing. Talk as little as possible at a wedding.
Brian is telling you you're repeating yourself, I think, in the comment section.
Already?
Jay keeps saying the same thing over and over again. He didn't say that, but I'm reading between the lines here. Brian K is calling you out, Jay.
Oh, I'm driving the point home.
With a frowny face.
Oh, damn it. All right, Brian.
Wow. Maybe that's not what he's saying. I don't know, but that's what it looks like he's saying. You know how Brian is. He's the guy who says something when there's something to say.
We're on air 32 minutes and we're getting frowny. Okay, fine. You guys talk. I'll just sit here.
And we had, sorry about I don't know what happened. YouTube just literally hiccuped and we lost.
Oh, is that what it is? We lost
the
first video.
I was watching Ben Stowe a second ago and I didn't want to say anything, but I'm like, yeah, why am I not on air?
Yeah, it bounced. So we have a new player that's up and people are finding.
That's what you mean by repeating.
But yet the... the Facebook thing. It seems that Facebook continued right on through.
Wow, Brian K grew some oysters there. Holy crap.
Wow. Henshaw throwing down. It's doing it again. Ask Ben Stowe anything Tuesday night.
Yeah, you've got a. There's a new player that popped up, and I don't even know.
Well, this is, by the way, side note, will the whole DJs can't live stream to Facebook anymore? Will that affect? It will only affect if you're playing music for listening. That's as I read it.
Yeah, that's actually, that was the other part of what I wanted to get to after we kind of went through the music side of what we're, so, and I think we've.
The one person watching, yeah.
No, we've got 35 watching.
Oh, my thing says one person watching. Streamed live 31 minutes ago.
Yeah, that one. That's the old one. There's a new one now that they're back.
Oh, okay.
They're
Gotcha.
back with us yet. Just a second.
I'll find it.
I can grab the link here and I'll pop it over to you guys.
I just realized every time I click the like button more than once, it just goes up and down one.
It
Hit like 50 times.
Yeah, it goes up. How come we keep losing likes? Oh, it's just Jay.
Oh, God.
Jay's not sure if he's happy or sad with his monologue, so he's just gonna go up and down.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna look at the screen up here.
No, my best work.
Well, my YouTube screen keeps popping back to the "How do you end the night?" and it's showing Ben Stowe.
Yeah, I just put the new link in the chat there, so you guys can.
Well, not in the old chat. I got to go to the new chat to see the link, so that doesn't do me any good.
Or not Zoom. Where the Zoom was.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are. We've been live the whole time. It continued right on Facebook.
So. Here we go. Look at that. All right.
Okay. So let's kind of bridge off that because that video, and then I'll retitle this part. But let's talk a little bit about the statement for what had come out. Digital DJ Tips reported this earlier today that that Facebook is going to be, as of October 1st, is changing a lot of their music guidelines. A lot of their tech. The fine print is really what they're getting into. And I've got the link here. I'm actually going to put that link into the chat. So if you're out there, you guys will be able to go right to this and check it out. But this is music guidelines from Facebook, and this is going to be going into effect October 1st. And what it basically...
They say do Instagram because Facebook...
Basically, they use the product for the family and friends. Any music, where does it talk about experience for yourself or others? Your videos will be blocked, and your page profile or the group. A lot more that the discussions are that currently I think it's you get a warning and then there's a ban or excessive. So it might be the first time it's a week, or it could be longer. That part,
you're out.
You're out. And the biggest thing I'm going to guess is you will lose the ability to live stream. It's going to be because they want you there. They don't want you leaving or gone, because if you leave, you're what they're selling.
Right.
That's how they make money. So they don't want you to be completely gone from Facebook, but they can't continue to have the music being played over their world, because they're starting to get some heat from the labels saying, "Hey, why is this stuff being used? We only permitted it for DJ Jazzy Jeff and a few of these other big names, and now all of a sudden DJ Bob from northern Minnesota, he's out there playing our music, and we didn't authorize that. So either you pay us or you police it."
Well, you would think, from my standpoint, you would think that they would come up with some sort of a pay feature like is it Mixcloud?
Mixcloud did, yes, where you're paying for premium.
Where you're paying and you can do a stream. I can't imagine why Facebook doesn't see the monetary value. More importantly, the idiots, as I like to refer to them, which are the music labels who decided to thumb their nose at Napster 23 years ago, 24 years ago, and now are still not back where they need to be because, the genie came out of the bottle. Mm-hmm. And they didn't understand that they should have worked with the technology and not fought it. And they're still where they are. I mean, if you're in a band now coming out, your music's being generated as your own music, to the point where I question if they even have the ability to do this without showing, was it Warner Brothers that capped it? To the point where we'll just do what bars used to do that wouldn't pay ASCAP and BMI. Mm-hmm. I'll do a mix of music that's on a label that's friendly. And, I know a lot of record labels watch our show. If you're a record label, get out there in the press and say, you can stream our music, because it will actually get your artists into new ears, and then they'll go see them eventually on tour someday, or at least go and maybe buy their product. But somebody like Warner Brothers, who's the one that I see the most dinging videos, like, guys, come on. Like, trust me, Ambrosia is not generating a ton of sales until John C. from Boston does the Yacht Rock set on Facebook, and they go, whoa, I forgot all about Ambrosia and mm-hmm. Firefall and Player. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I get it on one level, but on the other side of it, I just think they should stop and say, you know what? It's exposure to the artist. It's exposure to our label. in a time when there is no such thing. This is exactly when you should support your viewers and your artists as DJs and let them stream music. So I've only really done Twitch. I haven't even bothered with Facebook because I figured I'd keep getting blocked. But I know a lot of guys and girls that are living on doing live streams on Facebook and Instagram and Twitch. And you know what? It's making up for this downtime where they're struggling and where they're not doing well. And I think taking that away is a BS move by a multi-billionaire who ought to fight the labels and say, you know what? Here's a check. Here's 50 million distributed amongst the artists. We're going to let people survive this pandemic by being able to practice their art.
Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, wake up. It's time for you to say something now. You've got your 32 seconds. Go.
I'm not sure what's going on with Facebook.
It's like, I'm watching myself even do this, and I'm like, Brian's never going to have an opening. You're like, what the?
It doesn't matter. I don't really have much to say.
I go, well, if Prince were alive.
Speaking of,
so
it's interesting with the whole streaming thing. Prince was very against it, and you couldn't buy his stuff. You couldn't put it on YouTube; it would get blocked, or he just didn't believe in it. And doing that for I don't know however long he did it, 10, 15 years, really kind of took him out of the view of a whole generation.
Very much so.
Couldn't discover his music, and that was pretty unfortunate. It's being made up now, but there are a lot of folks where I'll say, hey, have you heard this song or that song? And they haven't, because he's not on anybody's radar. If you have a presence on streaming services of some type of or another, then typically you're heard. This is the outlet for it. People aren't listening to the radio, and even if they are, it's a very narrow margin of programming that you're hearing. So I feel like that these, just for the art of music, this is a very valuable type of medium that should be utilized. The problem is, and I get it, I understand that. I mean, I even know with things like the politics stuff that's going on right now, and the campaigns and the rallies and such, there are artists that are complaining because certain candidates are using their songs without approval, saying, no, please don't use my song. I don't like you. I don't approve of this. I'm not getting paid for this. Stop using my track. There's that. There are videos that people can put up and put an artist's song in the background where it's like, you know what? I don't think I want my song to be associated with whatever you happen to be doing.
Right.
And that's the artist's right. On the other hand, it's just kind of strange to me that there was never a distinction between somebody who was doing maybe a YouTube video on how to paint a house and putting a Janet Jackson track in the background. There's a difference between that and somebody like Jay, who's doing a video saying, hey, I'm a DJ, and here's a Janet Jackson song you may have forgotten about. Let me play a little bit of it. That's a very different thing, and there's no distinction between the two. And that's a shame that it's just this blanket thing that they do. And all social media platforms are doing it. We have intellectual property laws, but this blanket stuff hurts everybody. If it was a little more, I don't know. And I know to ask for this to be policed is probably way too much to ask for. But let's just say, for instance, there was something where I could go on to, like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound like I'm a rambling dude here, but you know how you have to kind of provide some kind of proof to promote that you're a DJ before you get their service?
Yeah.
What if there was something like that you could submit to anybody who's claiming rights to songs and say, look, I am a DJ. I'm doing this for your promotional purposes, and that's how I agree to use your material. And I'm just going to do a radio format type of thing. I'm not trying to share your music. I'm not trying to profit from your music particularly. I'm just trying to share it. that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a gentleman, and I don't remember his name, but there's a guy who does these videos. He's really good. He's a producer, and he does this series called "What Makes a Song Great."
Oh, I've seen him. Guy with glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, he plays like every instrument, and he breaks it down, and he's talking about how wonderful these songs are. He's promoting the songs, and he's getting flagged and blocked.
Oh yeah, there are songs he won't even play. He'll go through like the top best this, and he's like, "I'll do a bad version because if I play the Eagles Hotel California,
Don Henley will come to my house and cut my head off." Yeah,
yeah,
right. That's just unfortunate that that's the case. It really is. And I'm very jealous of anybody who's doing reaction videos and not getting flagged and taken down, because I can't accidentally play two notes of a song without getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
And during the pandemic, they got worse, as you know, with the Bryan Adams thing. All of a sudden, I was getting a week, like on a daily basis, I was getting a hit going, yeah, you have a copyright claim against you on a video you did from 2011. I'm like, 9 years ago?
Nobody had anything else to do. So
for 9 years, you let me get away with it. I didn't monetize it.
We got to get our dough somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so we
you
might
know,
as well
the sad part,
yeah.
You know, Cascade went through this. The artist, DJ Cascade, went through this.
Yeah, Rick Beto. That's what Mr. Cully's saying.
Rick Beto. Awesome guy. And Cascade had a problem with his videos, his songs getting pulled off SoundCloud, and he said, "It's okay, guys. I wrote it. It's my song." And he wrote a big op-ed letter to SoundCloud, and they came back very succinctly and very easily and said, "You know what, Cascade? We're fans. We've seen you. We love you. Take it up with your label, because that's who owns the rights to the song.
Yep.
Ultra Music does.
Mm-hmm.
You don't." And that's what this is. So you have options. One would be Warner Brothers says to me as a mobile DJ, if you want to perform our songs on Facebook, you can buy a $25 license and we'll allow you to play one set. Okay. Or you can figure out some way to not pay them and get around them, but it comes down to them. I think Facebook would find a much bigger audience if they realized, oh, wait a second, we can not only be the place to go bitch and brag, we can be the place that people come to relax and unwind, because we all know how much Facebook hates YouTube.
Well, can I admit something?
Why not do
publicly?
that?
I don't miss going onto my news feed. I don't miss 78,000 DJs live streaming at once, competing for your attention. I don't miss it. It was a little much. But having said that, I feel like that, ideally it would be really nice if there was a way to differentiate a DJ from everybody else when it comes to this stuff.
See, Brian, and I always thought to myself, if I was going to watch a live stream, I would want to watch a DJ, say, performing from their driveway in, say, Temecula, California, playing.
Exactly.
That would be
quality.
Exactly. Even if they played the wrong versions of songs and it pissed you off sometimes.
That would happen, yes. Yes, that would.
Should have gotten Carl Stress to sponsor me, because I always had that growler. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I mean, it's, you know what? I get